You know, it's wild to think that AI has gone from like sci-fi movies to, well,
To being everywhere, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the other day, my music app suggested this band
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
never even heard of. And it was
Is it good?
so good, like exactly my taste. It got me thinking, though, what if AI could do that for, like,
For everything.
yeah, not just music, but like research,
Yeah.
you know, all that information overload.
Like having your own research assistant, basically.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving into today, this whole idea of an AI research assistant.
And whether it's, the real deal or just hype.
Right. And that's where NotebookLM comes in. It's getting a lot of buzz.
And
And
for good reason.
yeah, it's not just another chatbot, right?
No, not at
It's
all.
designed to work with your research, like your actual documents and stuff.
Yeah, your material, which is a big deal because it uses this thing called source grounding. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of source grounding. Yeah, is that different from RAG?
Basically, it's the antidote to those AI hallucinations everyone's talking about.
Where AI just makes stuff up.
Yeah, it sounds plausible, but it's totally wrong. Source grounding means it's sticking to the facts within the documents you give it.
Okay, so it's not going rogue, it's staying on topic.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You're working on this huge project. You've got research papers, articles, notes, maybe even interview transcripts.
Oh, tons of stuff.
Right. Instead of spending days summarizing all that, you upload it to NotebookLM.
And it becomes like this super researcher that pulls out the key points, finds the connection.
Exactly. And because it's grounded in your sources, you can actually trust the insights
So it's like having a research partner who's already read everything.
and can talk to you about the most important parts, which, by the way, is something that really intrigued Stephen Johnson, the author. He actually joined Google,
Like Stephen Johnson, like the science and tech writer?
the one and only. He wanted to see how AI could change research. And he had this aha moment using an early language model.
Really? What happened?
He had to analyze his own book.
Hold on, the AI was reading and understanding his work.
It was more than that. It found emotional threads and recurring themes in his writing that even he hadn't consciously put in there.
No way. That's incredible.
It was a real eye-opener for him, seeing those hidden layers of meaning. And then he took it a step further.
Oh, what did he do?
He used a similar model to analyze transcripts from NASA's Oral History Project, which is
Like a gold mine of information.
exactly. And the AI was able to pinpoint these subtle emotional moments in those conversations,
Really? Things that a human researcher might miss.
especially sifting through thousands of pages.
Wow. So it's not just summarizing, it's like uncovering new ways of seeing things.
Exactly. It highlights the potential of AI to see things we might otherwise miss, those nuances, the connections.
It's giving those historical documents a whole new life. Okay, so NotebookLM is grounded in your sources, which is huge for accuracy. But how does this actually work in the real world?
Okay, imagine this. You're onboarding new employees. Instead of having them go through mountains of policy documents, NotebookLM creates a concise, easy-to-read FAQ tailored to their roles.
That's amazing. No more getting lost in the legalese.
Right. Saves everyone time. And here's the thing. People are using it in ways you'd never expect.
Really? Like what?
Some Dungeons & Dragons fans are using it to organize their campaigns.
You're kidding?
I'm serious. They upload their notes, backstories, even descriptions of magical items.
And NotebookLM keeps it all straight.
It helps them manage it all, which just goes to show its uses are surprisingly versatile.
That's amazing. From D&D to onboarding, that's quite a range. But it makes me wonder, with people using it for such different things, how can we be sure the information's accurate, especially for something as important as research? We don't want any rogue AI dungeon masters out there.
It's a valid concern, definitely.
Yeah.
But the good news is the developers thought of that. NotebookLM has a few safeguards. First, it gives citations for everything, so you can always check the original source.
Okay, so you can see where it's getting its information.
Exactly. Plus, it has fact-checking features built in, so you don't have to blindly trust it.
That's reassuring, especially if accuracy is crucial.
And here's another important thing. NotebookLM is designed to stay on topic. You won't ask it about quantum physics and suddenly find yourself in a debate about the history of cheese.
Okay, that's good. I've been down enough internet rabbit holes for one lifetime.
Exactly. So it's not about replacing our ability to think critically. It's about giving us the tools to do it more efficiently.
It's like enhancing our research skills instead of outsourcing them.
Precisely. And that leads us to another fascinating aspect of NotebookLM audio.
Oh, yeah. So far, we've mainly talked about text, but what about audio? Can it handle that too?
Oh, it can. And that's where things get really interesting. NotebookLM has this feature called audio overviews, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It can create a podcast-style summary of your research.
A podcast?
Yeah.
Like summarizing my research.
Right.
Okay, that's next level.
Right. It's amazing. Let's say you're trying to get through this dense research paper. Instead of spending hours on it, you get this quick audio overview, hits all the main points.
Like having one of those AI study buddies from the movies,
Yeah.
but actually useful.
Exactly. And it's not just for research either.
Yeah. What else can it do?
Meeting notes, articles, even those super long emails.
Seriously.
Anything you can put into NotebookLM, it can make an audio overview from.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we actually have a clip from an audio overview. It's about Stephen Johnson's book, The Infernal Machine.
The one about dynamite and, like, the origins of data collection?
That's the one. Let's give it a listen.
Okay, let's hear it.
This should be good. Audio clip start. AI host 1. All right, picture this. It's the late 1800s and forget smartphones. The hottest tech is AI host 1. Dynamite. You heard that right, dynamite. AI host 2. And it wasn't just for blowing stuff up, although there was definitely a lot of that. AI host 2. Dynamite was changing everything. Mining, construction, you name it. AI host 1. We're talking skyscrapers, railroads, huge engineering projects. AI host 2 was a big deal. AI host 1. But of course, that much power has a downside. Assassination attempts, anarchist plots. AI host 1. The works, things got a little crazy. AI host 2. Crazy's putting it mildly. And that's where Stephen Johnson's book comes in. AI host 2. The Infernal Machine takes us right into this time period where dynamite's not just changing the landscape, AI host 2, it's changing politics, society, everything, AI host 1. And here's the kicker, folks. Johnson argues that dynamite actually laid the groundwork for how we collect data today, AI host 2. That's right. Don't believe us. Read the book, AI host 1. Or, stick around for the rest of this audio overview. We've got you, audio CGLIP, EAID. Okay, I don't know about you, but I am hooked. They made dynamite sound kind of fascinating.
Right. They really have a knack for the whole storytelling thing. But what I find interesting is how they got the essence of the book, the main arguments. Even a little bit of Johnson's writing style comes through.
I know, it's crazy. It really makes you think about how this could change things. Imagine instead of just reading a boring book review, you get this engaging summary right from the source.
Exactly. It could be huge for how we consume information. Think about students who are struggling to keep up with their reading, or people who need to process a lot of info quickly, for work.
Oh, totally. It definitely fits with different learning styles and just our busy lives. I know I'd rather have a 15-minute summary than spend an hour deciphering a research paper.
Right. But it does make you wonder, does this level of easy access change our relationship with knowledge?
What do you mean?
Do we become lazier learners if we're not putting in the work to really understand complex ideas?
That's a good point. What do you think?
I think there's some truth to it, but I also think it depends on how we use these tools. Stephen Johnson actually talks about this. He sees NotebookLM as a way to enhance our understanding, not replace it.
So it's not about taking shortcuts. It's about, working smarter.
Exactly. It's you're able to quickly get the key takeaways from a bunch of sources, and then you use that foundation to go deeper into the parts that really interest you.
That makes sense. You're not getting rid of critical thinking. You're just doing it more effectively.
Exactly. And this brings us to another interesting thing about NotebookLM. Right now, it's mostly about text.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But what if you could use this technology for other kinds of media?
Interesting. Like what?
Well, Johnson actually hinted at NotebookLM possibly being integrated with Google Search.
Wait, really?
Yeah, think about it. Imagine being able to give it websites, videos, podcasts, basically the entire internet. And then you ask it to find connections related to your research.
Wow, that's
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but also incredibly cool.
Yeah. Right. We could discover things we never even would have thought to look for.
It would be like having an AI research assistant who's not just reading what's there, but actually making connections across different formats and everything.
Exactly. It could completely change how we do research.
It really could. But, and I hate to be a downer here, but with all this amazing potential, we have to remember AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be misused.
That's very true. It's something we need to be cautious about, especially as these technologies get more powerful.
Absolutely. So how do we make sure we're using these tools responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's something we all need to figure out together. But I think for now, the key is to approach these tools with both curiosity and a healthy dose of skepticism.
So being excited about the possibilities, but also thinking critically about how we use them.
Exactly. And that seems like a good place to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
It's definitely a lot to wrap our heads around, but it does make you wonder, What will we do with all this power?
It's a big question.
It feels like we're living in a sci-fi movie sometimes, you know?
But it's really happening.
I know, right? And it makes you think, what if you had a research assistant? But not just any assistant, one that knew everything you've ever learned, everything you'd ever experienced.
Okay, so like a supercharged NotebookLM, but instead of just my files, it has access to like my brain.
Exactly. And it can connect all of that to any new information you come across instantly.
Wow, what would we even do with that? What mysteries could we unlock? What questions could we finally answer?
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you realize maybe the limitations aren't even technological anymore. Maybe it's about our own curiosity, our willingness to ask the big questions.
It's true. We have to be willing to seek out those answers.
Yeah.
So even as we keep developing these amazing AI tools, we can't forget the most important part, the human mind behind it all.
That's a good point. Well, I think we've given everyone a lot to think about today.
Definitely a lot to unpack. It's been an amazing look at AI research assistants, and who knows, maybe one day we'll be having these conversations with AI itself.
Now that would be something.
It would. That's all the time we have for today, but we'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of AI and beyond.